I hope y'all are getting y'all's notifications because I've been getting mine. Oh, I hope y'all been getting these notifications. Hey, Amaya. I'm glad you caught a live too. Hey, Marlon. Hey, Miss Monica. Hey, Samuela. Hey, Grace. Come on in. Hey, Nina. Hey, Miss Monica. Hey, Joshua. Hey. So while people are still coming in, because I don't want to like take out a chunk of time talking about this. So while y'all are coming in, I'm gonna talk a little bit about I don't even get this many comments about this, but I just want to talk about it because I feel like new Married at First Sight fans don't understand. So some people have been saying, "Oh, you're overreacting. Oh, this season really wasn't that bad. It's not that serious, yada yada." I think you would probably say that if you had not watched the show from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? If you've only watched the show from the past few seasons, then no, I think Chris acting them choosing Chris and him acting the way he did, I feel like that's like a logical progression. If you watched the past few seasons, they always choose a bad match or two, and there's always one person that's made the villain at least. And it just seems like it keeps getting worse and worse. So I feel like if you only watch like maybe the past 4 seasons, yeah, you probably would think, oh no, Chris is not, this isn't that bad. But if you've been watching the show since the beginning and you saw that their intentions in the beginning seemed to be totally different than what they are now, they seem to be more pure. They seem to actually want to match people and for them to work and really be devastated when these couples did not work. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they got a new product. You know what? Ever since it came to Lifetime, ever since it came to Lifetime, I'm trying to see where did it happen? Like, where did a big change happen? I want to say when it came to Lifetime, you know, but I don't know. There always was like a potential wild card. Like in the beginning seasons, um there was this Hispanic guy. I forgot his name, but he was wild. He was crazy, and his wife had to get a restraining order against him, I believe. But they did everything they could to like hide that. Like they didn't play into his crazy. I feel like they were trying to hide it because it fell on them. You said this woman with this crazy man, you didn't vet him good enough. And I just feel like from there, like a part of me just feels like y'all should be getting better at this. Y'all should be having more experts behind the scenes. Y'all should have better vetting skills as the time goes on. You know what I'm saying? The Violet guy was Italian, his wife was Latina. Okay. It was an Italian guy and his wife was Latina. Okay. I don't know why I assumed both of them were Latina. Okay. And then the season dragged. Thank you. The season just drags. I feel like they started doing 2-hour episodes and then adding more couples so that they could stretch out the episodes so that they could compete with 90 Day Fiance. I purely think like 90 Day Fiance and all its hype and all its fans, I feel like they're trying to compete with that show. And that's why they started doing Couples Couch, and that's why they started doing this other spin-off show with all the married couples that made it. You know what I'm saying? That show started during quarantine, but they're trying to do a bunch of spin-offs the way that 90 Day Fiance is doing. That's why they're doing Unmatchables. I feel like they're using 90 Day Fiance as a blueprint because it's such like a hit. It's such a favorite for a lot of people, and people are just, so into that show. They're trying to mimic that in a way. And maybe that's why they brought in Chris, so they can have some of that salacious, bottom of the barrel type of drama, because y'all, that's why I had to give up 90 Day Fiance, because they just be, a lot of those, they be scraping the bottom of the barrel sometimes. So I really hate the way this show is heading. I feel like some people that haven't been watching since the beginning would not understand that, because y'all, if y'all watched the beginning episodes, y'all probably think it was boring. Y'all probably wouldn't even be interested in watching season 1, season 2, because it wasn't that eventful, compared to these episodes. But it's a lot of filler in those long episodes. Exactly. Even on 90 Day Fiancé, I feel like most of those episodes are filler. Their spinoff shows suck. I didn't watch Unmatchables, but I hear it's unbearable. I have them on my DVR, but I can't bring myself to watch them because I'm just I'm so over this show. I'm so over it, y'all. Same. I used to watch 90 Day Fiancé. I stopped on Cult season. Yeah, I feel like that's when they started beating a dead horse. I do. With that whole season turned me off. I couldn't even, and I started late. I came in late, and then that season, I probably watched 2 seasons, like, okay, y'all are doing too much. I started season 5 back when it was more wholesome. Why is there always 2 parts to the reunion? They're so irritating. Exactly. Unmatchables is trash. It feels like a hookup show from 2000s, like Blind Date. There's only one successful couple from the first 4 seasons, and they are questionable. For all we know, if you're talking about Jamie and Doug, for all we know, they could be together just so Jamie can have a job. Because would Jamie still have a job if they weren't still together? Okay. The authenticity is gone. It's all about TV drama. Ready to see what next season will be like. I'm gonna watch until the weddings, and if I feel like I want to review it, I will. At this point, I don't think I want to. 90 Day Fiancé feels exploitive. It does. It feels exploitive. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get to it because we ain't talking about 90 Day Fiancé, but it feels exploitive because not only it just feels like not only is the show exploiting them, but it feels like the American is always exploiting the person coming from another country. It's like it's always, well, I'm not gonna say it's always, because it's not always, but it seems to be someone from America that couldn't get an attractive person like the person that they've chosen from the other country, but they're getting this attractive person because this person is from like a poor country, or maybe they're living in poverty and they want better. And so the way that they're going to get to come to America is by marrying this person. And I mean, I guess in a way that person is using the American as well. It just feels gross to me. It feels gross. Like at first I was trying to justify it, but it just feels gross. Big Ed is who I'm really thinking about. I could not justify watching that. I couldn't. Ugh. Yeah, the other person is using them too, but I mean, when you're in a situation like that, when you're living in poverty, and when you're wanting a better life for your family, you're willing to do a lot of things you wouldn't normally do. And so I don't judge them as harshly. I don't judge them as harshly. I have to admit. Xenophobic, voyeurism and manipulation. But let's move on, because we ain't talking about 90 Day Fiance. Maybe one day I'll do a live and we can talk about that. So let's go ahead and get started and talk about this reunion, child. They didn't even show us Jacob and Haley. Where's my picture? Hold on, y'all. There we go. Oh. I got this particular wig I got from Amazon, and you can, if you follow me on Instagram _LaVidarosa_, look at the link in my bio and it'll take you straight to this wig. Why was Eric's mama there? Exactly, to fill time, because they knew that they wanted to do this. I don't care what nobody says. Allegedly, the producers was trying to pad that episode with time because they knew they were going to be bringing in Pastor Dwight. They knew Chris was going to be acting a fool, and they knew they was going to be able to do 2 parts. Exactly. That's why they brought in the mama. That's exactly why I feel like. But anyway, apparently everyone has been media trained because it was so fake and rehearsed. Thank you. I really feel like everybody was doing damage control because they know how they came across. They were not being authentic. At that reunion. We'll talk about Jacob and Haley in a minute. The lies people tell. His mom is attractive. Okay, she's a nice looking woman. It was kind of boring. I wish Eric and Virginia broke up. He's way too desperate. Eric's mom didn't even know why she was there. Exactly. I just feel like both of them saw how they were acting on TV, and they're trying to give us this revisionist history of what happened. At least Eric owned up to it, though. Eric did say he saw some things that he didn't like and he wants to change it. I could respect Eric, but Virginia was trying to act like, oh, it wasn't this bad. Oh, they tried to make it seem worse. I don't believe that, because even Eric was like, even Eric said on camera that your drinking was a problem a few times. So, child, they sat up there and lied the whole time like we didn't see them all season. I was just like, I'm like, did I see what I saw? I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. We saw what happened, and just own up to it. If you saw something you didn't like, and y'all plan to like get counseling individually together, people will appreciate that so much more than coming on TV and pretending like y'all were perfect. When we saw the truth, Virginia act like she wasn't drinking. Virginia's makeup looked great, or she went to a dermatologist. I legitimately feel like they saw how they looked. Virginia saw how she looked on her wedding day. I think it's different when you see your like, when you just have, I don't know. It's different when you're just with your friends, and then when you're with like a whole audience and everybody is commenting on it. Like, I feel like they really did like a whole damage control. You can't tell me he didn't hire no Olivia Pope Jr. to come in and help them. You can't tell me, because even the way she was smiling, I don't even think she wasn't even. Virginia wasn't drunk. Virginia was sober. You can't tell me Virginia had too much to drink, or at least she only had like a drink or two, because she just didn't even act the way Virginia normally acted. Because I feel like Virginia normally be a little tipsy, allegedly. Everyone looks better on the reunion. They do, but I don't know. They look different, y'all. They looked a little different. I just feel like they had a little coaching. everyone trying to act like we didn't just watch a whole season of you saying one thing and now all of a sudden it's totally a different story. All of your issues are gone. Right. But you know what? If they like it, I love it. If they like it, I love it. If she wants to stick around, fine. Maybe she see that money and maybe she's willing to make it work. I mean, I feel like Eric does come from money. I'm not saying she's a gold digger or anything, but sometimes when you see that a man can provide, it will change your opinion in certain ways, Eric was struggling not to lose his composure. I do feel like he was letting her do a lot of the talking, and had they not seen those episodes, probably Eric would have took over. But I feel like he realized it looked like he was controlling, so he was letting her do a lot of the talking. Hypergamist. You should worry about the money. Only Black people are told not to. I agree. I mean, look, if Eric is willing to change and work on that bad behavior, I don't see nothing wrong with her sticking around and, getting some of that pilot money, She might have to go ahead and have a child though, if she gonna stay with him. She probably gonna have to have a couple of kids and probably gonna have to end up being a stay-at-home mom. But I think she'll be all right. He looked like he wanted to come out of his skin when she was talking about her drinking. He was agreeing verbally, but shaking his head. I wasn't even watching him during that part. Oh, man, I need to go back and watch that. Because a lot of times, people don't realize a lot of times your physical mannerisms will tell on you. Like you could say everything you want to say verbally, but your what you're doing physically will tell. If Stockholm syndrome was a couple. He looked through his mama's soul during the child question. Virginia doesn't need to worry about working, which is a big stress reliever to not have to work if she don't want to. True. Maybe she realized that. Maybe she's like, oh, this is the good life. The only thing is, if he doesn't change those controlling ways, if you don't work, he really gonna control you. He really gonna be controlling then. That's the only thing. Body language is 80% of communication. So let's go ahead and move on. There's not much to say about them because they put on a big front. Another couple that put on a front. Y'all, I don't know what to say about Ryan and Clara. How did the host had to make you admit that you loved her? And even when you did say, oh, I think I love, and Clara was just so happy. She was so happy about it. Y'all were about to do a whole vow renewal and the man never said I love you. I never want to see these two on TV ever again. Go fake in privacy, please. Caitlin, I can't tell you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. By the end of their segment, the door. That's what I want. The door. I wish y'all the best. I wish y'all the best, but the door. Since y'all don't even want to discuss nothing, y'all don't want to be on TV, go do that in private. How do you plan a wedding without saying I love you? I'm sick of people calling her the chin though. Like, leave this girl alone. I will say, like, let's stop talking about people's like physical features, because, that's kind of rude, and, you might be offending somebody who didn't do nothing to you. You talked about Clara, but somebody in the comments might have that. So let's lay off of that. Because we could talk about their actions. Their actions say enough. You know what I'm saying? She does seem like she's sweet, but she just seems like delusional, like what somebody just said. I missed your comment. Oh, Fedora. She seems like a little delusional. She does. That renewal without "I love you" is the stupidest thing I ever heard. Like, what are y'all renewing? They were just gonna have a party. They were just gonna have a party to invite the people they couldn't invite before. He still don't love her. Ryan needs individual counseling. So does Claire. I do think so. I do think their edit probably was a little worse than what we saw. I do think maybe there's more to. I don't think their edit necessarily was bad. I think they weren't giving anything on camera, because he seems to be so uncomfortable on camera. Maybe they have a better, looking relationship off camera. But one thing's for sure, he didn't say "I love you" until somebody had to literally drag him by the strip on the top of his head to say it. He would have never how do we know he would have ever said it? How do we know he would have ever said it had Kevin not drugged that out of him? Why is he on the show? That was my question on my review. Why did you come on TV if you're this private, if you don't want to discuss anything? I have a problem with people that come on here every season. Maybe they're not self-aware enough to know that they don't need to come on TV because they're so private. That's what I'm thinking. Because why would you come on TV and all of a sudden don't want to tell nothing? You want to control your wife so she won't say nothing. I felt the same way about Karen. I felt the same way about Iris. If y'all want to be so private, y'all shouldn't sign up for a very, very public TV show. On their social media, they posted about each other. Why did he specifically want a white woman? Is it because a black woman would have challenged him more? I mean, I don't know. But he did specifically want a white woman. He wanted a quirky white woman, a Zooey Deschanel type, and she said she wanted a racially ambiguous man. And so when people have specifics like that, it gives a little fetish, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of, the only reason why I keep saying fetish is because Clara is not getting what she wants from him. She's been wanting him to say "I love you" for the longest, and wasn't gonna get it unless an outsider, a stranger, poked and prodded in a relationship and pulled it out of him. She also was, he was also leaving her in need in the, intimacy department. I feel like she's getting that. That's why she's like, seems so happy now. But it's like, why are you putting up with all of that? Is it just because it's in the package that you want physically? And the same with Ryan. Ryan, you're not really getting what you want mentally. You said he claims to want a deeper connection, but are you getting what you want because she's doing everything you say otherwise? You want to raise your children in church. That's something she doesn't want at all. And like y'all don't agree on like some really big things, but you're willing to overlook it because she's comes in the package that you want. I mean, that's just what I have to assume, because I don't know. I think it also has to do with being concerned with how production will make you look, which is ironic because they still got a bad edit. You'll always get if you're private, you'll always get a bad edit. Any people that have come on this show and didn't want to be upfront and honest, you're gonna get a bad edit. You know why? Because you're not being open with production, and I think they don't like that. So I think they gonna make you look however they want to make you look, because you came on a TV show and you still don't want to tell. Like, they went through all of this They invested money, time, and effort to get you married to somebody, and you don't even want to talk about your process. You want to be private about, like, why did you come on TV? You should have found your own partner. You should have found your own partner. I'm gonna tell you, that's why I would never do a show like this, because I'm too private. I wouldn't want to discuss, being intimate with someone for the first time. I would not want to talk about that. Like, there's certain things I would want to keep private, so I would never sign up. But I don't know. He's an enigma. I can't. He's a little bit. His code. He it takes too much to crack his code. His family's blackity black, like the math ain't math. I went to his brother's page and I'm like, did y'all really come from the same family? I think Ryan has racial trauma and he desires a proximity to whiteness to get away from that. That's an interesting. No. How you gonna sign all the documents, sign your life away, then act brand new about your private life being on TV? Make it make sense. Exactly. A deeper connection would require more brains that would challenge him. She'll be a churchgoer in no time. I really believe Claire is going to end up in church. Like, she has not fought him on anything. She'll say her opinion and then go along with his. I wouldn't be surprised if Claire became a first lady. If they have kids, they gonna be in church. And that's that on that. Claire about to be on the usher board. Okay. It's okay. Claire's gonna have all new friends. I'm telling you. Them kids will be in Sunday school. Ryan can't be a pastor, so she won't be. How you know he won't be a pastor? You never know. That might be in the back of Ryan's mind. Maybe that's in the back of Ryan's mind. That's why he doesn't want to put all his business out there, because he doesn't want anybody to like hold that against him later. And Claire is leading youth services. Claire about to be with the first lady hats. And y'all, I'm not trying to say any of this like, because I'm in church. I believe in God. I'm a Christian, and so I don't see anything wrong with going to church, but I just don't want her to go simply because he's making her go. I would want her to go because she wants to go. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, it just seems like he's making the moves and she just blindly following, She seemed to gain a lot of weight. Well, she said that she said that she doesn't like to eat vegetables and she likes to eat donuts. So that's going to catch up with you at some point. How old is she's in her late 20s, right? That's when I started gaining weight. Ask Caitlin in the chat. I used to be this big. And then one day my metabolism just said, bye, girl. She dipped. And I just blew up overnight. So, I mean, that could be what's happening. She could have had a fast metabolism and then gained weight. And then, COVID and everything. Why is she not eating vegetables at her big age? That's a good question. But let me move on, y'all. Let me move on, because we didn't harp on them for too long. Can I ask y'all something? Why is it that Brianna has to compromise so much? Can y'all tell me what Vincent has had to compromise on? what has Vincent compromised on? That's my question, because it just seems like she's getting all of the bad rap, and I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate that. Vincent back with the avoidant behavior. These two actually seem happy. I still don't really like it though. So congrats, I guess, or whatever. That's how I feel. That's exactly how I feel. Like, congrats, y'all seem happy, but I just don't compromise on not punching the walls. Oh my goodness. I don't see it for Brianna and Vincent. If she like it, I don't love it, but keep it moving, right? Because a bossy person is the worst. But okay, Vincent has caused a lot of their issues, like especially in the beginning. But we're only talking about Brianna being bossy when we haven't even seen too much of that. We've seen way more of Vincent and his short temper and his bad attitude and his passive aggressiveness, and we barely even addressed it at the reunion. He might have to compromise on the finances. Okay. But I feel like Brianna more than makes up for what she spends. You know? I'm not gonna make excuses. That is something that he could compromise on, but that they haven't discussed. They didn't show them discussing that on the show, like not on the reunion. Vinny being insecure and annoying was the worst. Exactly. Vincent gonna lie saying he didn't mind her being bossy, and I didn't like that either. Like, so now all of a sudden you didn't have a problem with them saying that she's bossy. Somebody said they like my earrings. They're from my website, LaVidarosaStyle.com. You said you didn't have a problem. I mean, you said on the reunion you didn't have a problem with her being bossy. You try to act like you didn't say a couple of episodes ago that was a big turnoff. So which one is it? She makes more money than him. He don't have no choice but to compromise. Benny needs therapy. I agree. Somebody said Benny wants her money. Allegedly. She will compromise to keep him. Slim pickings in ATL. I agree. I've heard the pickings were slim for Black women in Atlanta. That's what I heard. Vincent's compromise this season was climbing on that horse and complaining about it the whole time. Child. He's trying to shape up for the reunion. I mean, he makes 89K, she makes 90K. Has that been confirmed? Brianna may be bossy, but as a grown man, Vincent should be able to express himself without a tantrum. I just feel like it should have been addressed more. Like, they said, he said I had anxiety. Okay, so do I. But that does not excuse your behavior. That explains some of your tendencies to, maybe he's on edge when he's in front of the camera. He said he was nervous about it being seen by a bunch of people, but you should have known that before you came on the show. 1, 2, you took it out on her. You took out the frustration that you get from anxiety on your wife because you don't know how to cope. And I feel like if we're going to hold people like Chris, we're going to hold their feet to the fire, I feel like Vincent should have been held. His feet should have been held to the fire, and he should have had to, apologize to his wife. And a lot of people were like, well, he apologized with Dr. Viviana. This reunion, you should apologize again. She's talking about all of her faults. She's talking about, well, I have to work on being bossy. I have to compromise. I have to do this. I have to do that. Vincent didn't talk about what he had to do. Vincent just told us, well, I have anxiety. So we ain't going to talk about how you going to work on that. because it's not fair that she have to sit up here and compromise and compromise and compromise, and you get to cop out with anxiety every time. That's not fair. You have anxiety, so it gives you a stank, childish attitude. Now that's your personality trait because both your friends and your family said you had angry tendencies. Oh, you read him down. Fedora read him down. But seriously, right. Is it the anxiety or is it your personality? Vincent has insecurities tied to finance and his image. I agree. I do think I think he was very, and I've been there. Like when he gained that weight, he even said it out of his own mouth. He was insecure about that. But that's not fair for you to take it out on your wife. It just isn't. In the beginning, I liked him, but after seeing some of the things he's done, it made me side eye him. Me too, y'all. And believe me, this is coming from someone. If y'all look at my old reviews up until the last couple of episodes, I was rooting for him even after his outbursts. I was like, okay, maybe he sees where he was wrong. But that last few things that he did, cutting her braid, telling her that, you know, all that bossing, what her family said about her at that wedding, turned him all the way off. It's some of those things really turned me off for this relationship. The anti-blackness always shows. I need to know, did he really post that meme? I really need to know that. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. I agree. I agree with your entire statement. That's just rooted deep in our culture at this point to say that, but Tyra does get on my nerves as well. We are more upset about the hair than she was. We are more upset about the hair than she was. Okay, you're right. I can't be more mad than you are. You're right. I'm just gonna move on. Y'all talking about his hair. Child, he was bald for a reason. I feel like he should have just stayed bald. That's your thing, Vincent. Just stay there. That's your sweet spot as far as looks. I can't ride the bike. No, not the bike. I can't ride the horse. I don't like the jerk bossy. That turns me off. Let me move on, y'all. Let me move on. Now, we didn't get to see much of Haley and Jacob, but I just wanted to talk about her little segment and the little stunt she pulled, and you know, talking about basically how she only slept with him because she wasn't attracted to him, so she was trying to be attracted to him, basically doing exactly what Chris did. And so I just don't understand. I don't understand how she didn't get called out for that. Maybe y'all can explain to me. Because people in the past have said, oh, she just acts just like Chris. And I don't think she acts just like Chris, but she does have that mean girl aesthetic down to a T. I know Jacob ain't no Trump supporter. Now don't have me up here defending you. Jacob DM'd another YouTuber and said Haley didn't have a job and that she left the house every day at 9 a.m. and didn't come back until it was time to film. Okay, you know what? It's all starting to come together. Haley, how come you didn't try to make this work? Because if you didn't have a job, you could at least been married to Jacob. He got money. Like that didn't make sense. She acted like she didn't live there. Like at least the other couples, you could tell that they were living together. Haley and Jacob, whenever they looked like they didn't live together. So it makes plenty of sense that she would be gone all day. Maybe she would just show up for filming. That makes plenty of sense. Child. I look, y'all. I'm not gonna sit up here and be defending Jacob. I look. All I'm gonna say, I'm gonna have to do my research, y'all, because all I'm gonna say is, even if Haley, I still think Haley was wrong, but I'm not finna sit up here and defend Jacob. I'm just not. I'm not. I'm not gonna do it. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I'm gonna move on. If you're watching a replay, just look in the comments during this section and you'll see why. I have to look it up myself. Check my IG message. Okay, I'm gonna check it right after this. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. I'm not finna sit up here. Anyway, let's move on. I have to do my research on it. Child, it don't make no sense. Such a disappointment. So, child, what is there to say? What is there to say? The only thing that really bothered me about this segment is one, that they brought out Pastor Dwight, because I know they were trying to cause drama during this reunion, like, because I think they really wanted a two-parter, so they knew what they had to do to get Chris to act a fool, and so they were purposefully provoking him with this. And two, I didn't like how Kevin was kind of like telling Paige to calm Chris down and trying to get her to like break it up. Paige is a woman. Like, why do y'all want Paige to break up something between two men? I know it was such a small thing, but it really bothered me, because I was just like, Paige has been through enough this season. Like, even though she, in a way, she definitely participated, but y'all need to bring out some big men as security. Like, y'all don't need to. Paige has been a mule for y'all long enough on this show. She's done enough for y'all to ask her to stand up in between two men and like break it up and stop Chris from acting. That is not her. Like, they're not going to stay married. That's not her man. And even if they were, she's not a man. Like, I just didn't understand that. I'm so tired of that dynamic of, oh, she a black woman, she can handle it. No, she's a woman. I feel like Paige is one of the most dainty women on this show, and y'all want her to break up a fight. I would tell I would tell Virginia to break up a fight before I would tell Paige to, but I wouldn't tell neither of them to do it because they're a woman. Exactly. Sit down, Paige. And when she stood up, I was like, no, this is out of order. This was out of order. We know Chris wasn't gonna fight, but it's just the optics of she was gonna try to stop him, and Kevin was like, calm him down, Paige. No, that's not her job. That's not her job to do. That whole scene was disgusting, and I need Paige to stop the shenanigans for the show and sue for mental distress. Because at the end of the day, regardless of how Paige reacted, and this is something I wish I would have put in my review, regardless of how Paige reacted, the show did set her up with Chris. And I don't think it was by chance that they chose a woman like Chris. I don't think a woman like Chris, a woman like Paige. I'm sorry. I don't think it was by chance that they chose a woman like Paige. Mm-mm. But all in the pastor face. Oh my goodness. When she said she went to counseling, oh my goodness. I told y'all, Paige ended up at Chris's hotel room that night. They were together that night. She said all of what she said during decision day about choosing herself or whatever. And I knew it. I knew she was going to be with him. Counseling, and then they were talking about moving in together. Her parents, his parents. I just, when she said she was trying to do counseling with him, I was like, poor thing. Like, I mean, it's easy to get mad at her, but obviously something is going on with Paige that she was willing to put up with all of this. And I feel so bad for her. Paige is probably one of the best catches on this show, as far as she makes her own money. She's successful. I feel like she's a beautiful woman. She has a beautiful face, regardless of what Chris said. And then she had to sit there. She had to sit there while Chris degraded her to the world. That was even worse, having to watch it back. Like, he literally was calling her ugly. Like, y'all could have found me any a white queen, a black queen, a Hispanic queen. Y'all couldn't find me nobody. Basically saying y'all could have brought me anybody else but Paige. And I know they said that she had not seen that yet. And I'm glad she saw it, but for her to have to sit there and watch that and have everybody catch her reaction live, it was just, it was degrading. It was degrading. It was cruel. That's the right word. It was cruel. And then had the audacity to say the fact, right. Had the nerve to talk about her face. Please. The fact that he said all this behind her back, exactly. I mean, he just finds a way to humiliate her over and over. This is how you have people that end up like Little Kim. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's so sad. It goes so deep. It goes so deep. That's why I'm glad they didn't talk about why she kept going back to him and, you know, being intimate with him. I'm glad they didn't discuss that, because honestly, I don't think neither one of them like have the range. I feel like I feel like both of them need some help. But especially Paige, you know, Chris might be a lost cause forever. I feel like he's on some he's on like a narcissistic trip, but Paige, for her to stick around with a man that treated her like that, something deep got to be going on there. And then to be publicly humiliated the way she was. If Chris whispered a few more lies in her ear, there's no doubt she would go back to him today. And I feel sad for her. Me too. Me too. But y'all, Chris just said what so many black men think about us. That's a shame. It's a shame. It really is. It really is. Because I've seen it so many times. I mean, just black men talk so negatively about black women so freely and uplift other races effortlessly. It's a shame. Even Vanessa Williams might be too dark for most men on the show. And the dark ones, exactly. The dark-skinned women definitely get it the worst because of colorism. And it's in our own community. Dwight should have met him outside. Dwight wasn't gonna do that, because Dwight came on TV. He wanted to be on TV too, and plus he probably trying to, you know, gain an audience for his, you know, congregation. Sure. But y'all, I'm gonna have to jump off of here because I'm not gonna have enough time to do my Ready to Love live. Shout out to the 125 people in here. Make sure you leave a like. He's selling a book. I knew he was doing something. Make sure y'all leave a like. Shout out to everybody that's in here. This was a great live. If make sure you come to the next live. We're going to be talking about Ready to Love. I wish we could stay on here a little bit longer, but got to move on because I don't have the time tonight, you guys. But yeah, we about to do Ready to Love right after this. So I'm gonna jump off of here, and then we're gonna do Ready to Love. We was on here for about an hour though. So I'll see y'all in the next one.